Hi, and welcome back. This is an all new episode where I'm gonna be myself and probably go on a few tangents, but I do have a few key things that I really want to talk about. And I think because so many people ask me, what exactly was your journey like for having a baby as a single mom by choice? Like, what did you have to do? Yada, yada. You already know I have the program Single Mom Mindset. It literally covers A through Z. It covers anything that may be specific to you because every woman's journey is different. Everyone's fertility is different. Everyone's age is different. Everyone's interests are different. Everyone's budget is different. Like, there's a lot of things that do come into play. So my situation is not necessarily going to be the same as yours, much like, mine isn't the same as a lot of women in this community, nor will yours. However, I do get so many questions about what exactly it's been like, so I want to give you like a real rundown of what my journey was to having Leo. And it's funny because I'm actually filming this on his 3rd birthday. He's taking his nap, so I'm trying to cram in some work. That's what you gotta do, single mama life, entrepreneur life. It's crazy, it's busy, but so the way it all worked out, okay, is I was fighting for custody of my first child that I had with my ex-fiance, and it was a hellish battle that took a long time, a lot of money, a lot of heartache, a lot of therapy, and thank God we got out on the other side. It was, it was hard to see the light at the end of the tunnel for a long time, but yeah, I try to just put that behind me. It's done. We're in a very different spot now, thank God. But yeah, it was actually my attorney that told me that she had a client who went through a really awful separation, divorce, whatever, and horrific custody battle. And after everything kind of leveled out for her and, everything got a little crazy, less crazy, she actually had a baby on her own using a donor. I knew nothing about this, okay? I didn't really understand or grasp what she was saying. Like, I took it really with a grain of salt, kind of, put it in my back pocket or whatever for later. Didn't think much about it. I looked into adoption later on. Like, I'll fast forward. I, toyed with the idea for a long time. Didn't know if I'd really do it. I kind of hoped and wished and thought, assumed I'd find my, special guy and have that happily ever after. And I tried and I dated, and I know now I was coming from such a icky place because I didn't really take the time to heal. I didn't really take the time to reflect and see what the heck went wrong and why was I a match for this kind of a person? Why was I attracting this kind of a person into my life? And truly, it's important to take a look at ourselves in these situations, and that can be really hard. But so for a while, I was just trying to fill that void, trying to date, just trying to replace. And again, I know now that wasn't it. And once I took a pause from that, I was able to do some self-work and realize that that's not it for me. Like, I need to work on me. I need to fix a lot of my wounds. Like, I don't want to bring tons of baggage into the next situation, right? I need to heal. It's important to heal and love myself, because how am I going to expect someone to love me and take care of me and meet me on this level if I'm really not feeling that good, right? So yeah, I took a pause. Again, I dated here and there, but I wasn't trying to force anything anymore. I was kind of just trying to enjoy it. But yeah, right before the pandemic, I was like, you know what? I want another baby. I don't want to date someone and rush it. I was still young. I'm still young now. But I felt this, Riley was getting older. I didn't want them to have a huge age gap. I would have loved at that time for them to be closer in age. So yeah, I was just kind of feeling like time's ticking. If she's gonna have a sibling that's close in age, I gotta do this sooner than later. And I don't want to date someone and just force something and try to commit to somebody to do the same thing over again. That's not what I want. So with that being said, I started looking into what my attorney was talking about. I did some research. I felt a bit weird about it because it was what? I'm going to be buying this online? How does this work? I knew nothing, nothing about this. So Googling like a lunatic, getting a lot of mixed reviews and misinformation and mixed information and all these things. So I was overwhelmed, and it took me years, before I truly before I truly like kind of took some steps. And then eventually I decided to just kind of bite the bullet. I made an appointment with my fertility doctor. First, actually, sorry, rewind. I spoke with my gynecologist, asked her about it. I had to take my IUD out. And she said, yeah, go for it. Like, you had a great pregnancy with your first. Why not? Check it out. She recommended a couple of places. I went. I met with an incredible fertility doctor. She's amazing. She had worked with single moms by choice before, so she was able to answer a lot of my questions. She was not judgy. She was so cool. Loved her. And yeah, so that kind of got the ball rolling. I had to get a bunch of different procedures. Like, they check your ovarian reserve. They check like your fallopian tubes. They do your blood work. You have to do a pap test. You have to do urine testing just to make sure like you're healthy. I think that was really everything at that point. And because everything looked okay for me, thank God, again, not every woman is the same. Not every fertility clinic is the same. And because of that, we cover these things inside Single Mom Mindset because, like I said before, our journeys are never identical, right? So we did that. I then started looking at donors, loved a few donors. I think I didn't go right away. My God, it's been a while now. This is like 5 years ago now, that I really started things. So, geez, 6 years ago, 5 years ago? I don't remember. Anyways, but yeah, so I started looking. I don't think I bought any donor samples right away. I got all the procedures done with the fertility clinic, and yeah, and then I waited because I talked myself out of it. Yeah, and then it was maybe a year after, 6 months after, I decided to try. I did one IUI, and that didn't work. And then I tried a whole almost year after, I think it was. Nearly another year after, I tried again, because it was like I would go back and forth, right? And I would doubt myself, and I was like, I can't do this. I need to do this. I want to do this. I can't do it. How am I going to do it on my own? And, you know, the judgment, and no one's going to understand. And like, is anyone ever going to want to date me? And all this like bullshit, excuse my language, that is all these stupid narratives, right? That are like forced on us from society and like our own ridiculous beliefs because of the that we're taught growing up as women, that our value is in how dateable we are and how desirable we are to men, which, if you're watching on YouTube, my chip nail polish. Like, no thanks, okay? And the pandemic hit 2020, and it was like, you know what? F this. Like, I know what I want. Family is so important. My grandmother was not in great shape. She had dementia. She was at the end of her life, and just watching her and just how even through that, like, she was in a bad spot towards the end, but her love for us never went away. I'm gonna get emotional, but it was in seeing her in the last few times that I saw her before she passed that it was like, you know what? Like, family's everything. It's the only thing in life that like you have, you know? And yeah, I was seeing her that one specific time. I don't know why. It was just the way she was, the way she like loved us or what, I don't know, loved on us, sorry, like hugs and stuff. But yeah, I was driving back. I told my mom, this is it. I want another baby. I'm gonna do it. Like, I feel like it's the right call. And I made another appointment, and Christmas Day, I was ovulating. I went in, they did my third IUI, and that's the one that stuck. My favorite time of year, favorite day of the year, Christmas Day. And yeah, I conceived Leo 3 years ago exactly, not when this video comes out, but while I'm filming this, 3 years ago exactly, he was born, my little September baby, my Virgo boy. And I was sure I was having another girl, I was certain, and when I found out he was a boy, I was like, wait a minute, what? But it turns out that he's everything that our little family needed, and I wouldn't change it for the world. Truly, I would do it 100 times over. I really would. I wouldn't change a thing. Now, I mean, that's basically it. I was going to have another. I've kind of put that on pause right now. I'm looking at different options. It just doesn't feel like the right time right now. We can get into the whys and whatever another time. It's not really important. But yeah, I mean, so many people ask, like, how can you afford it? How do you deal with people just, judging or not getting it, like family members not wanting to support this decision, so like you're gonna really be doing this alone? There's so many people that it's just ignorance is bliss, truly. So many of us have been taught that you need to have that person, like goals as a woman in your life. You grow up, you find your husband, and you become a mommy and a wife, and that's it. That's what you want out of life. That's how you've been successful. And they're selling this ideal, which, it's cute. Yes, it works for many. Yes, it takes work, of course. But it's not it for all of us. Not every single one of us wants that specific dream life. Like, I always knew that I wanted a big career for myself. I knew that I have a voice. I know that I'm kind of on the cusp of obnoxious, people will say, when it comes to my opinions and things that I am passionate about. And I try not to be obnoxious, I guess, per se, but when I feel so passionately about something, and in this case, single moms and empowering women to just, do their own thing and do what feels right to them. I want to scream it from the rooftops. I just want to shake my old self. I want to shake you if you're like, I can't do this, if it's too hard and yada yada, because we've all been so conditioned to believe that we can't do things. Instead of being like, you can do whatever you set your mind to. I don't care what things, I don't care what your limitations are. Now, I'm talking, again, myself, when I was first separated from my ex and I was struggling, I was working in corporate, barely making enough money to survive, okay? Living in a tiny apartment, have to buy groceries and hydro and pay for my car and gas and back and forth, and daycare. Daycare was like 75% of my salary, okay? Because I wanted her in a good daycare. So I was working for somebody else to be watching her, basically, and she fell at that daycare, broke her collarbone, and they were telling me how dramatic she was. She was like 2 years old. Just nightmare, okay? Nightmare situation. It was miserable. I hated the majority of the day-to-day because I was like, does it get better? I always felt like I was drowning. I felt like I was suffocating. It felt like, my God, like there's gotta be something more. Like, I don't want this to be my day-to-day for the rest of my life. Like, we're just trying to like keep our head above water and try to put food on the table, like, go into a job that I don't like, to put my kid in a daycare where I don't want her to be for 11 hours of the day or 10 and a half hours, whatever it was, to just scrape by. Like, no thanks. Like, there's gotta be more, right? But again, the narrative in society, the things that we're taught in the movies and the shows and the newspapers and the things that you just hear, okay? You hear your aunt say it, your uncles, whatever, okay? It's all around us. You can't avoid it. I don't care where you're from, okay? There's just this conditioning that if you are a single mom, you're struggling, okay? And not to mention also the fact that there's so many people that believe that struggle is, it's a great thing, right? You'll be so rewarded after life, whatever. Struggle is something to be proud of, kind of. Like, you really struggle to get here. Like, good for you. It's amazing, okay? And we kind of, I don't know, like glamorize hardship, I guess. I don't know what words I'm looking for here. I think you know what I mean. But there's like this idea that, oh, it was so hard for you. Wow, yeah, that's great, kind of. It's like, why does it have to be hard? It doesn't have to be hard. Why did we decide that it has to be hard? It has to be a struggle. We have to be overwhelmed. We have to be frustrated. We have to be working jobs that we don't like. We have to be barely getting by. Why? Who told us that? Right? Like that. Again, excuse my language, but no thanks. And there was something that just clicked in me when it was like, no, like I don't want to raise a daughter, because at that point I just had Riley, my daughter. Like, I don't want her to believe that if she doesn't find a man and stick with him and he can provide for them, that she's screwed. No, thank you. Okay? No, I want her to believe that she can have whatever she wants. And the best way for me to provide that for my daughter and now my son is to do that, live that, be the model of that for them. Because when it comes to your kids, you can talk all you want. But if your actions are showing the polar opposite of that, it's bullshit, right? Kids see BS a mile away. They do. Kids call it like they see it. Kids see through all the crap, right? So yeah, I wanted to be somebody that my kids could be proud of, that they could look up to, that they could learn from, right? And use as an example of what to do as opposed to what not to do. And oh my God, I need to have a way different life than my childhood, because holy shit, it was horrible. I don't want that for my kids. I didn't want that for my kids. And something clicked and it was like, we gotta change some stuff. And I started making moves towards that. But it truly wasn't until Leo was almost 1. And again, there was a bunch of stuff that happened. He had a really bad that's not what it was. A febrile seizure, like really bad, middle of the night. And I was like, friend, I thought he was going to die. I'd never seen anything like that before in my life. Riley had a little one when she was small, but it was not like his. Like I was certain that he was going to die. It was horrible, horrifying, scariest thing that I think I've seen like almost ever. And then I lost my job, my corporate job that I was at for like 9 years. And it was like, I'm a mom of 2 now. Like, what the hell am I gonna do? Like, it was like starting over from scratch. And it was like, I'm not struggling again. Like, we gotta figure this shit out. And I got I had dabbled before, but hugely into manifestation, hugely into mindset work, hugely into just reframing, reprogramming, getting rid of the bullshit narratives and like all the crap that's like weighing me down that I don't even realize, like the subconscious stuff. And it's been huge. I mean, I'm in a completely different place. I'm self-employed. I'm working with tons of incredible single moms, which is like dream, or women that are considering being single moms. Dream, okay? Girl power, yes please. I get to talk about things that I love to talk about. Girl power, single moms, all the things, okay? And yeah, like I couldn't have even imagined it going as well as it's gone, and to be able to do something that I'm passionate about and I love doing every day, being home with Leo every single day until he goes to school in like 2 years, there's a hair, it's like driving me nuts. Again, if you're watching on YouTube, you see me like freaking out here. Sorry. But yeah, Riley's in school, only 6.5 hours a day. She doesn't have to do before daycare. She doesn't have to do after school daycare. I mean, it's a dream. I used to cry at night, hating that I had to bring her somewhere and leave her there all day. She was little itty bitty and it was miserable. And there's so much of like, okay, well, it's not fair that, you know, we're forced to go back to work, or there should be better things for women and mothers and better options for childcare and yada yada. Sure, we can get mad at all the systems, we can get mad at everybody else, but at the end of the day, the only thing we can change, the only thing we can control, the only things that we can actually do is take care of ourselves and manage ourselves and fix our way of thinking and fix the problem. If there's a problem, we have to be the ones to fix it. So yeah, if you're anything like how I was in the past, if you're kind of struggling, if you're wanting better and you're over it as a mom, or you're considering being a single mom and you're like, how the hell am I going to do this and carry it all and not be overwhelmed and stressed and miserable? And even if I don't have a lot of support, or I have no support, I didn't have support for a long time, and I still don't have an enormous village. I say it all the time, and I'm truly happier than I've ever been, ever. Okay, truly. And yeah, it's possible for you to do it too. I'm teaching all these concepts inside of Single Mom Mindset. I have a new program for once you are a single mom, which is Empowered Mom Mindset. I have another new little micro guide that's coming out. Keep your eyes peeled for that. I don't know if it's going to be out by the time this comes out. But yeah, tons of resources. I want you to thrive. The narrative that you need to struggle and needs to be hard, needs to be miserable is BS. We're over it. We're changing that narrative. You are incredible. You are deserving of a beautiful life. And with that, please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and come back next week. Happy Friday. Love ya. Bye.